Okay, the next step in making the 49er shirt is to stay stitch the neck edge of the yoke for the back. There are 2 yoke pieces, so you need to do them both. I'm using a 2.5 stitch length on my machine and a 3/8 of an inch seam allowance. And the reason we do that so that after you add the collar, the stay stitches won't show. We're just going to stitch along the edge. One piece, now we're going to do the other one. Okay, that keeps the pieces from stretching. Cut them apart, and there you have the 2 pieces. The next direction is to sew the yoke to the front and back of the shirt. So I'm going to begin with the back of my shirt. This is the right side. I'm going to place my yoke right side together and match that seam to the back of the shirt. And I'm just going to put a couple of pins in here to hold it in place. You want to make sure that your seam allowances are even, raw edges are even. I'm going to increase my stitch length to 3.0 and sew the seam. There's 2 ways you can do this. You can do it with the 1 layer. Actually, I'm going to do both layers in the same stitch line. So I have another yoke. I have the right side up. I'm putting the right side of the second yoke to the back side of the backing fabric, and this is going to give the seam allowances closure. You won't be able to see the raw edges on here, and then I'll show you how we will attach it to the front. So it's going to be a little thicker because you have 3 layers of fabric. You can do this in 2 operations, or you can do it in 1. I'm just going to do it in 1 to make things a little faster here for the video. I'm using 5/8 of an inch seam allowance and a 3.0 stitch length. Remove your pins. Don't sew over the pins. That'll break needles and hurt your machine. Make sure everything is flat and even as you go. Okay, so here's what we're going to end up with. I'm going to press this a little bit so that my seam allowance will be pressed up inside the yoke, and it's going to clean finish the inside as well as the outside. Then we're going to do some top stitching in the next video and then go on to attaching it to the front.